Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. Okay. Continuing with Masechet Yevamot, Perek Bet, Mishna Hey. In the last couple of Mishnayot, we spoke about that if a man dies childless, and the brother that he has to perform Yibum is actually a mamzer. That man still has a bond, a Yibum bond, with the widow. So what do we see from here? That a mamzer still has the status of a brother. So now, this next Mishnah speaks about some other rules that apply to biological brothers that might be or are mamzerim. So Mishnah Hey says, "Mi sheyesh lo ach mikol makom." If someone dies and he now has a brother, a paternal brother of any kind, even if he's a mamzer, zokek et eshet achiv leibum. That brother has a yibum bond. It's called zekika. He has a yibum bond with the dead brother's wife that now needs to be severed through chalitza. Ve'achiv lechol davar, and not only that, he's his brother in every other aspect. Chutz mimi sheyesh lo mina shivcha mina ovedet kochavim, except for someone who the brother comes from, the mother is a Kenani slave or from non-Jew, then the things would be different because he's not Jewish. Mi sheyesh lo ben mikol makom. If someone has a son of any kind, meaning including a mamzer, poter eshet aviv min ha'ibum. That son exempts his wife, his father's wife, from ibum. So if the father died, we don't say that the father died childless because the boy's a mamzer. No, it's still a biological son, and therefore the wife is now exempt from ibum. V'chayav al makato v'akilelato. Not only that, the son is liable for hitting or cursing his father. Mishnayot found the psukim found in Parashat Mishpatim, umakeh aviv ve'imo mot yumat, umkalel aviv ve'imo mot yumat. These are laws in the Torah. So just because you're mamzer, still you curse your father, chayav mita. You hit your father, chayav mita. Ubno hu lechol davar, and he's his son in every aspect. Chutz mimi sheyesh lo mina shivcha umina ovedei kochavim. Except again, if that son came from a Kenani maidservant or a non-Jewish woman. Mishnah Vav. Mi shekidesh achat mishtei achayot. If someone got married to one of two sisters, ve'eno yodea ezo mehem kidesh, but he doesn't know which one he married. Noten get lazo ve'get lazo. He has to give a get to this one and a get to this one. He cannot remain married to either of them because each one might actually be his wife's sister. And that's an erva, so he has to give a get to both. Met, let's say he died childless, before he gave a get to any of the sisters. Velo ach echad, and he has one brother. What does that brother do? He's got two sisters here that could be wives. The Mishnah says, choletz lishtehen. The younger brother now is to perform halitza on both sisters. Hayu lo shenayim, if the dead person had two brothers. Echad choletz ve'echad meyabem. So one of them first performs chalitza on one of the sisters. Now the sister is gone. Now the other brother can now perform yibum with the other sister. Kadmu ve'chansu. If both brothers went ahead and each one married one of the sisters without consulting the bedin, and motzin miyadam, we don't take the sisters away from them. Meaning they don't have to get divorced. Mishnah Zayin. Shnayim shekitzu shtei achayot. Two unrelated men marry two sisters. Ze eno yodea ezo kidesh. This one doesn't know which one he got married. Ve'ze eno yodea ezo kidesh. And this guy doesn't know who he got married to. Ze noten shnei gitin. So ve'ze noten shnei gitin. This guy has to give two gets to both the ladies. Ve'ze noten shnei gitin. Okay. Again, because each woman can actually be the wife's sister. We don't know. So both men divorce both women. Metu, if they both died childless, lazeh ach ve'lazeh ach, and man number one had a brother, man number two had a brother, or one brother. Zeh choletz lishtehen, the brother has to perform chalitza with both sisters. V'zeh choletz lishtehen. And the other brother has to perform chalitza with both sisters. Neither brother can perform yibum because neither one knows which one is bound to him by yibum. Okay, so therefore they have to do chalitza. Now, lazeh echad v'lazeh shnayim. If man number one who died had one brother, man number two who died had two brothers, hayachid choletz lishtehen. The lone brother has to do chalitza with both sisters because he can't marry either of them because again it could be the wife's sister, so he has to do chalitza. Vashnayim, but the guy who had two brothers, echad choletz ve'echad miyabem. One of them does chalitza to one sister, and then the second brother can perform yibum. Kadmu v'chansu, if they both went and got married to each sister, en motzi biyadam, we don't take them away. Lazeh shnayim v'lazeh shnayim. If this dead man had two brothers, and this dead man had two brothers, then achiv shel zeh choletz la'achat, then one brother of this man performs chalitza with one sister, ve'achiv shel zeh choletz la'achat, and then one brother of this man performs chalitza with another sister, and then we're left with achiv shel zeh miyabem chalutzato shel zeh. The second brother that's left does yibum with the one that this brother did chalitza with, and then achiv shel zeh miyabem chalutzato shel zeh. And the leftover brother that on this side, okay, performs yibum with the guy who with the chalitza that this person did. And therefore, in this situation, they're permitted. Kadmu shnayim v'chaltzu. If the two brothers went ahead and performed chalitza with both sisters, lo yeyabemu shnayim. Then the two brothers of the other man cannot perform yibum because one of them would be marrying the sister of the woman bound to yibum. Ela echad choletz ve'echad miyabem. One brother has to perform chalitza with one of the sisters, and the other one has to perform yibum with the other. Kadmu v'chansu. If the two brothers went ahead and each married two sisters without asking the court, en motzin miyadam, we do not take the sisters away. We don't force the brothers to divorce them because they're now married to a woman that is permitted to them. Mitzvah bagadol leyabem. It's starting to get a little bit easier now. Mitzvah bagadol leyabem. The mitzvah is for the oldest brother of the deceased to perform the yibum. He gets the priority, and then he'll inherit the property of the deceased brother. Ve'im kadama katan. But if the younger one went ahead and performed the yibum, zacha, he gained the right to inherit the property since the yibum was valid. Hanitan ala shivcha v'nishtachrera. If someone is suspected of having relations with a non-Jewish maidservant, and then she was freed, or ala nochrit v'nitgaira, or he was suspected of cohabitation with a non-Jew, and then later she converted. Harei zeh lo yichnos. This person should not marry the freed maidservant or the convert, because people are going to say that the original suspicion was true. Ve'im kanas en motzin miyado. But if he did marry her, we don't take her away from him. We don't force him to divorce her. She's technically allowed to be married to him. Hanitan al eshet ish. If someone is suspected of going with a eshet ish, a married woman, a different man's wife, ve'otzi'uha mitachat yado, and as a result, the court took her away from her husband. They forced the husband to divorce her. So obviously there must have been witnesses that came to testify of the adultery. Now, afal pisha kanas, even if the suspect then married her afterwards, yotzi, he has to divorce her because she's become biblically forbidden not only to the original husband but also to the suspect. Hamevi get mimdinat hayam. Someone brought a get from abroad. Medinat hayam is outside of Israel. Ve'amar, and he said, befanai nichtav, befanai nichtam. He said, it was written in my presence, and it was signed in my presence. This is how the opening of Masechet Gitin begins. Lo yisat ishto. This person cannot marry the divorce's wife. Okay? So he's just the guy carrying the get. Okay? And it was signed me. He can't go and marry that woman now because he's going to be suspected of making this declaration falsely so that the court would accept the get. What? Well, yeah, but even with an ed, it seems like he can't. People are going to think that he made this falsely just so he can marry the woman, right? So maybe if there was another ed, yeah, maybe it would be okay. Now, met, however, if someone testifies that the man died, okay, haragtiv, or the guy says I killed him, or haragnuhu, or we killed him, lo yisat ishto. Again, he also cannot marry the person's wife because we're going to suspect that he's testifying falsely, again, just so that he can marry this woman. Rabbi Yehuda says, Haraktiv, if someone says, I killed him, lo tinaset ishto, the man's wife cannot marry anyone at all because the fact that this guy admitted to the murder disqualifies him from being a witness. And therefore, right now, she's like in the status of like nanaguna. The Rasha cannot be called a witness, so we don't know where he is. So she can't get married yet. Like this guy cannot act as a witness that the husband was killed, so she's in the limbo state. Haragnuhu, but if he says we killed him, then tinase ishto, then the wife can marry others because we assume that he was with other people who killed him, but he himself did not actually kill him, but he was with other people that were around. And therefore his testimony is valid, and now the lady can go and marry someone else. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll continue next time.